The miracle of mercy. Paul. This is Saul. Saul was a Pharisee who hated the followers of Jesus so much that he would hunt them down to be brought to trial in Jerusalem. And he would even seek to murder them. Saul was uttering threats with every breath, and he was eager to kill the Lord's followers. So he went to the high priest. He asked him to write a letter to the Jews in Damascus that would allow him to arrest any Christians he found there. He wanted to bring them, both men and women, back to Jerusalem in chains. Now Saul went on his way. And as he came near Damascus, a light from heaven flashed around him, and he heard a voice that said, "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" Saul cried out, "Who are you, Lord?" And the voice said, "I am Jesus. Rise and go into the city, and you will be told what to do." So Saul got up and he opened his eyes, but he couldn't see anything. So the men who were with Saul led him into the city. After 3 days, a man named Ananias came to Saul. He put his hands on Saul, and immediately Saul could see again. And with that, Saul became a follower of Jesus. He became the very thing he had tried to hunt. And he immediately began telling people that Jesus is the Son of God, and he taught them about the mercy of God that he had received. And all who heard him were amazed. He then went by a new name, Paul, as he began preaching not just to the Jewish people, but to everyone. Despite many difficulties like being imprisoned, shipwrecked, and narrowly escaping death multiple times, Paul continued to preach about Jesus. Paul said that he would do everything he could to save people and help them know God. And that's just what he did in order to reach people who would otherwise be unreached. And many came to know Jesus because of what Paul said. Paul taught many in his day through his letters, but even more have come to learn more about Jesus through the letters of Paul that can be read even to this day.
I'm Laura Kastens, and I've been a member of St. Andrew since 1999. I got involved in the community. I was the Children and Youth Choir Director here from 2002 to 2012. And then in 2018, I came back in as a handball director and did kids for a while, and then kind of morphed to the adults over time.
Hi, my name is Penn, and we moved here in 2020. I started ringing handbells in 1978. And have been ringing and directing ever since that time. It's a really good time. Since we're here in Iowa City, I direct the middle school handbell choirs. I used to direct for 25 Live when we had that. I'm in the Iowa City Flute Choir. I also play flute here. I'm in Ecumenical Women's Bible Study. I'm the Tuesday morning Bible study, so I have a good time.
Oh, wow. They're fun. They're fun. I love to ring handbells. They're unique in that you are the only person playing those notes. So like if you're in a band, you've got other instruments, or the clarinets or the flutes, the trumpets and stuff. If you're in a choir, you've got other people singing with you. But if you're in a handbell choir, you are it for those two notes. Why do I like children dressed? It's because they're little sponges. They just soak up everything, and they just seem to enjoy it all.
My favorite thing about handbells would have to be meeting the people and getting to know the people in your choir a lot better than you would have if they were just in the pew, because you do have a lot of interaction with the people. For example, Margaret Hyger and I trade bells. She'll play it and then she has to put it down and then I pick it up or I hand her a bell. And so you really know those people a lot better. And I agree with what Laura said. The kids are sponges and they're so much fun. And my experience has been that they like to ring loud and fast.
And use mallets.
Yeah, oh yeah, use mallet. Use any technique they can. And so that's a lot of fun. The way you have to look, there's a little mark on the one side of the bell and not on the other. And so you have to look at that and that has to face you. Then you have to hold it this way, right up here by the neck guard. And then you have to think about your favorite beverage. And a lot of kids have said Mountain Dew, and I always go, ooh, but milk or water, you do not want to spill that on the table, okay, when you ring. So you just bring the bell down your shirt and come out here and then lightly do that and come back from your circle and damp it somewhere, okay? So the big deal is to hold it here and make that circle and don't do this. And the reason you don't do this, one reason is because, ow, okay? Doing that a lot is hard on your arm. The other thing is the sound. It's really weird. The sound comes from here, not here. So if you keep it up, okay, that's annoying. If you keep it up, you hear the sound, but if you do this, you don't. Should I show you? Okay, there's a big difference.
I would say fitting in with the others in the choir, fitting your notes in with the others in the choir, because if you got those two notes and you have to make sure that they're right in time. So you have to be a very good counter, actually. You really have to know how to count and know where your note comes in that measure or your notes. I think that's the hardest part.
And if you rely on the person next to you, they may make a mistake. So your director says, play anyway at the right time. Ooh, that's really hard. If she's supposed to play on one and I play on and she doesn't play on one, I have to still play on and. That is scary. Sometimes you have more than one bell in your hand. Sometimes you have a bell and a chime. Sometimes you have a bell and a chime and a mallet. Sometimes Megan borrowed your bell because she had to play it, and then you don't know where it is. Okay. Okay. And then, then you pick on Megan. Yeah. Usually I have it and Megan needs it. But you see what happens in your camaraderie in your bell choir? So that's what makes it fun. I'm like, and then she's like, it's right there. And you're like, oh.
And bell choirs really are a small group.
Oh,
yes. It's very, very social and we care about each other and we treat each other like family.
Whatever's the new thing in your life, we chat a little bit before we come in. Whatever is happening, it's nice to know that. So we are a small group.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, we've done it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So we start by the basics, mostly counting, because you can always highlight, which I do with people, highlight the notes that those people play. And just if you can count to 4, you play on 1 and 3 and you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and you look at your highlighted notes. Yeah. I mean, it goes beyond that as you advance, but yeah, if you've got no musical experience, we can help you.
Yeah. Well, because a lot of children come in and they've only sung at school, and maybe they choose not to sing, and so anybody can ring. You don't have to use your voice. You don't have to blow in an instrument. You just pick this thing up and it rings. Okay, you're only responsible for usually 1 or 2 notes, sometimes more. They can come usually at the beginning of a semester, like September. But if you want to join anytime, you just come and say, "Can I join?" And I say yes. For the middle schools, we rehearse approximately a half hour a week, which isn't very long, but that's about the time we have. So you have to fit it in so it's convenient. Middle school bells rings a half hour or so before basic. So mom and dad can drop off the child at 5:15. They ring bells and they immediately go to basic. You don't have to see them again till 8 o'clock.
Yeah, and if there's a high schooler, they should talk to Austin. They meet Sundays after Sunday school, occasionally. They
Yeah.
don't meet every week, but occasionally. Adults meet on Wednesdays. We have an advanced women's group that meets in the morning, and then we've had a beginners group that meets in the afternoon, late in the afternoon, and then the advanced adults meet in the evening. So yeah, they just should contact any of the directors, and it's hard for the adult group. The beginners people can join anytime, but the other two groups, we generally take them in at the beginning of the semester.
I will say one of the things about handbell groups is sometimes you get to travel other places to ring, and then that's also a good group bonding. Okay, we got to play at Voxman this year, and so you rode with different people, or you carry the table and you carry the foam, and there's a lot of joking and laughing, and it's a really, really good time, and it's a great way to meet people and have fun.
We played it. We did
we
did the
did.
Christmas thing at the mall. We did. Resound went down to
Hills.
Atrium Village in Hills a few weeks ago.
We should show them what we are wearing. She has. You wear gloves because you don't want to get this part of the bell dirty because it's a pain in the neck. And so she has some tie-dye ones, and I have some black ones that have pictures of bells on them just for fun. But I also have some other regular black ones. So it's fun, but it's nice to wear gloves.
You're welcome. Well, I always like to talk about bells.
Yeah, anytime. Get some new people would be great.